Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, what a week. We have a NFL player suspended for illegal gambling. Well, not illegal gambling, just breaking the rules for the NFL and policy.
He broke the NFL policy.
And baseball's back. How about that?
Well, it was kind of touch and go with the baseball.
Didn't think it would happen, but I would hate to feel that it wasn't going to take place this year because of an international draft, and I don't think the fans would ever say, why are you holding everything up for that? But
what's actually kind of interesting...
We're up and ready to go.
What's actually interesting is they were able to save an entire 162-game season.
Yeah, I guess a lot of doubleheaders will be in our future, and good. I'm glad the doubleheader rule now is an entire 9 innings.
See, I like the 7-inning doubleheader.
Oh, really?
I like the 7-inning.
I like the 9-inning. I'm a traditionalist.
Well, I'm a traditionalist too, but I also recognize that sometimes these games go too long. And I'm looking forward.
How dare you?
I am looking forward to...
We finally got baseball back, and you're complaining about the length of the game. Really? Come on.
That's going to always be a
the
complaint
pitch
about
clock
the game.
will handle everything.
There's
Don't
no
worry.
pitch clock this year.
Oh,
though.
well, it's getting there.
The pitch
it's
clock
getting
will
there.
come next year.
We're going to have a pitch clock and bigger bases. What else do you want? Oh, my goodness.
Well, what's really going to be interesting is with the DH in the National League.
I love that.
The totals are going to go up.
The totals, and I heard because the pitchers don't have a full preseason and a full training camp, maybe they won't go as long in the early regular season games, and maybe the totals go up. But who knows? I don't know.
Well, there
are smarter people in the betting industry that'll figure that out.
You're also going to have to probably adjust how you're betting on your pitchers, because I know some books offer the 1 inning, the 3, the 5, and the 7.
That's true.
You may not be able to do a 7-inning bet for a pitcher, a starting pitcher.
It's should be interesting.
It'll be fun to watch to see exactly how spring training progresses and gets to the opening day. The one other thing I noticed...
Well, everyone's in training camp right now, which is great.
I noticed one other aspect of the new agreement that was given to the players. They've got a lot more freedom to get sportsbook deals now.
Good. Okay.
So we're going to see probably some really interesting...
I'm sure that's going to go really well.
Brand ambassadors.
Just ask the NFL. That's going to go really well.
Well, actually, you have the NHL with doing
that's true.
The Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
Doing the deal with BetMGM, the first active player. Now you may have more active baseball players getting involved with the sports betting and gambling brand ambassadorship. I guess that's what they call it.
Yeah,
they're not really sponsored.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the NFL, I don't think Calvin Ridley will be getting any sponsorship deal with a sportsbook anytime soon. It should be interesting to see if anyone tries that, but probably not.
Every time I read a story about Ridley, there's new information coming out.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're ever going to know the true extent of how many bets he placed, how much he placed. He could have even done stuff at a retail book that no one knows about, too.
Well, we shall see how that one plays out. We got a great show coming up for you. We got a By the Numbers segment. We got a Beatin The House. We got a book report. And I'm going to be interviewing Katie Kohler from Play Pennsylvania and also from the Philadelphia Inquirer. She knows everything there is to know about casinos and sports betting in Pennsylvania. And I love going to Pennsylvania for the casinos and the sports betting. It's just so much fun. So we're going to talk to Katie about gambling in the Keystone State. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Well, besides baseball and Calvin Ridley stories, the madness is upon us. I guess that's how people phrase it now. March Madness is coming up.
No one uses March Madness anymore.
It's a trademark.
Yeah, I know, but I'm listening to Veasan, and everything's the madness. I don't think one of them of the DJs do we call them DJs anymore? The radio personalities have said March Madness.
That's basically
yet.
how they want to be phrased. But,
they have yet to say March Madness for a couple of weeks now.
Well, NCAA is very protective of that brand.
So, am I in trouble now for saying March Madness, or do we have to use the word madness?
We're not using it in terms of
we're not selling anything.
We're not
sure.
Exactly. Well, we're selling ourselves, but
yeah.
But right now, we got March Madness coming up. As we're taping this, usually right before Selection Sunday, the American Gaming Association releases projected figures for betting.
They should be astronomical this year.
Well, I went back and looked at last year's and the actual numbers that came out. The actual numbers for the 2021 edition of March Madness, or the Madness, however we want to phrase it.
The Madness.
The national handle was about $1.5 billion.
Wow.
The three top states: Nevada, $360 million.
Okay.
New Jersey with around $275 million. Illinois with about $177 million.
Okay.
And you got to remember, last year also a difference in terms of the size of the United States market. You had 74 million Americans with access to legalized sports betting. They were in states with legalized sports betting, and only 14 jurisdictions.
Yeah, what do we have now? 30?
This year we have over 30.
Yeah.
And we have about 144 million people having access to legalized sports betting.
Well, look, that list is going to change because New York is going to be at the top of the list this year. Is there any disagreement with that from anyone in the sports betting industry? New York will have the highest numbers for, I almost said March Madness, but the Madness.
Well, according to some estimates out there, New York is going to be able to generate $19 million in state tax revenue from NCAA betting alone coming up in March here.
Okay.
That projects out to about $560 million just on NCAA basketball.
All right. Okay.
They're going to have other sports. And they're probably going to hit $1 billion again. They're 2 months straight with $1 billion each, or they passed $3 billion.
But I'm assuming based on that for March Madness, I'm going to call it March Madness. I can't stand this madness stuff. March Madness. I mean, I'm assuming New York is going to be at the top of the list. Will it be New York, New Jersey, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Illinois, or New York, Nevada, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, or whatever? I don't know what it's going to organize into, but New York is going to be at the top of the list.
Yeah, New York is, like I said, they're projecting $560 million. You may see that go. I wouldn't be surprised if you see over $600 million.
This is like between Nevada and New Jersey. This is like a race to second place.
Well, actually, you may see a surprise second place.
Okay.
I'm thinking Arizona may have
Arizona.
something to say about
I forgot all about Arizona.
And even Colorado. I mean, Colorado last year ended up with about $71 million in handle.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about Arizona.
Arizona's a brand new entrant.
Just for population alone, though, I think New Jersey's going to be in the top 3, I would think.
Oh, yeah. Well, also, you may even see Pennsylvania, too.
I don't know. Illinois has some pretty damn big cities in it.
Illinois just dropped their in-person registration requirements, so that's going to affect a lot of stuff. But, there's going to be a lot of new players here. New York, Arizona. You've even, there are states that have just started with their online sports betting. I want to see how Arkansas does. And also some of the other ones. Virginia just launched 3 new books.
Okay.
So a lot of the numbers are going to be...
I'm going to start this by apologizing. I really don't care about Arkansas. Is that the one you just... I don't even remember what state. I know it's a brand new market, but, seriously, are they going to make it... Sure, okay, I'm curious about Arkansas. I'm not interested in how they're going to do.
Here's another one, but, Louisiana.
That one should be interesting.
Louisiana rivaled some of New York's numbers in terms of betting transaction volume when they first launched mobile betting. And, I really would have loved to have seen what Florida would have done.
Yeah,
If Florida didn't screw everything up. I mean, it's...
Florida, you got to love them.
It's like a little kid, you just pat him on the head.
Oh, my God. Can you get anything right?
Well, it's going to be fun to watch. Again, $1.56 billion last year. I mean, could you see $4 billion with double the market size?
Yeah, double the market size. New York now. Yeah. New York might get $1 billion on its own.
I want to see how many.
Does New York have that regulation where I don't know what New York colleges are actually playing, or how many are playing in the tournament
until we see Selection Sunday.
But do they have that rule where they can't bet on the college within their state?
Well, that was what my point was going to be.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say I'm very curious to see what the cross germination is between New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because New Jersey people can't bet on New Jersey
Sure.
schools.
Sure.
New York people can't bet on New York schools.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to see an increase in traffic on the, the GWB casino?
George Washington Bridge Casino.
But it's going to be fun to watch this one.
All right.
Exit 2.
Down in South America, and boy, I don't know why I phrased it that way, but down in South America, Brazil to be exact, we're going to talk about here.
All right.
One of the most popular sports in their history has always been soccer.
Sure. It's a religion down there.
Well,
They love soccer.
the religion is being replaced.
Oh, okay. All right.
Gaming is becoming the most popular pastime for kids.
When you say gaming, you mean,
Esports.
Okay, esports.
Let me put it that way. Since we're in an esports exit here.
I almost said the word Nintendo. That's how old I am.
There is.
Oh, my goodness.
There are Nintendo still out
PS5s?
there.
Is that what the kids are doing nowadays? Or
The kids are
the
doing
kids
it.
are doing, yeah.
You crotchety old man,
Yeah.
you. But down in Brazil, they have this game that's becoming very, very popular, and it's overtaken soccer as the teens' most favorite pastime, and a lot of them have dropped the soccer as I want to be a soccer player when I grow up. I want to be a gamer when I grow up.
So now kids are staying indoors. They're not going outside and playing with their friends and playing soccer with their friends?
They are not playing soccer, but they don't have to stay inside because the most popular way to play esports or gaming in certain areas in Brazil is on your phone.
Okay.
And because in certain areas in Brazil, I don't want to call them slums, but they're lower income areas, and they can't get their hands on the big platform rigs.
Okay.
To do the big time gaming stuff, but they can get. It's easier to get a cell phone than it is a rig.
Well, what game are they playing? We were saying gaming.
I'm getting
or
to that.
Oh, okay.
Free Fire.
I have no clue what that is.
It's a Vietnamese developed game.
Okay.
Back in 2017. That's how old this game is. It's about 5 years old. And in terms of gaming, that's old.
So that's really old in terms of gaming?
That's old in terms of gaming. But Free Fire is an online multiplayer game designed solely for cell phones. You will not find it on a computer.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's
I didn't even know they made games like that just for when you're talking about esports, I always think of guys in those big comfy chairs and in front of their computer consoles and things like that. But no, this is an esport directly to your phone.
It's a mobile phone game only.
Okay.
It's a battle royal, and up to 50 players participate via phone.
50 players?
50, 50.
All right.
They the avatars, I can't call the kids, but the avatars parachute onto an island. Then they look for weapons to hunt each other down and kill each other. The winner is the last one standing.
All right. Okay.
This is how popular it's become. Last year's national championships for Free Fire, 80,000 players.
Wow, that's pretty popular.
Top prize was $20,000.
Wow.
And a lot of the big-time players of this game, as well as some of the other cell phone games, they can make up to $500,000 a month.
A month, huh?
From their webcasts, where they stream themselves playing the games.
Okay, wait. Okay, if this is a cell phone game, where they're playing the cell phone in front of their computer and they're webcasting themselves?
You can hook onto Twitch through your phone and.
Yeah, but how do you play the game while you're webcasting? You
have it on a stand, and you just have the camera facing you, and you still play the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many phones do they have?
Well, it's easy to just go underneath where the camera is. And
okay.
Play.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Hey, some of these guys, $500,000 a month. They probably have the rig to do
if you
that
win
kind
it,
of
you can do whatever rig you want.
But it's becoming very popular, and even some soccer teams like overseas, Paris Saint-Germain. Saint-Germain, sorry, I mispronounced it.
Germain? Is that what you called it?
It came out that way.
Okay.
And I apologize. A lot of their players have their own gaming deals now, and a lot of them are playing Free Fire.
Great.
So it's becoming to the extent of soccer, real soccer, is going by the wayside, and gaming is taking the place of soccer as the most popular sport in Brazil, which is kind of unusual.
Okay, well, hey.
I just wanted to throw that one out there.
Exit 3.
being entertainment and intellectual property attorneys, especially a trademark, I always find this interesting, and we've been doing a lot of NFT talk lately.
It's constant
Every week,
NFT
just about.
talk. I just interviewed Adam Pliska for a future show. He's the president and CEO of World Poker Tour. They have a whole series of NFTs coming out, so they're getting into the NFT business. So everyone is loving their NFTs.
Well, NFT trademark filings have increased with the amount of increased activity of people creating NFTs.
Yeah, you told me this a couple days ago, and I just never connected NFTs with filing trademarks on it, which is a great idea. I mean, they're out there, they're in the marketplace, they're something that can make you money. You might as well protect them.
They're also being pirated.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you might as well protect your investment, and these things are investments because they go up in value.
And also, if you think about it, NFTs are basically intellectual property. If you actually have a trademark on an NFT, you could actually at some point license that NFT to some other group.
Sure.
And that's another revenue stream for the NFT creator.
Yeah, no, it's a piece of property that you should protect. So that's a good idea, doing trademarks on it.
That being said, the U.S. has seen a 400 times growth in trademark filings in the last 6 months alone.
Now, let me ask you something. Every time you file a trademark, you have to put something in a certain class that the government designates.
Depends on the NFT.
Okay, so it depends on the NFT. NFT doesn't have its own class now?
There's no NFT class. Really, if it's a functional NFT, it'll fall under International Class 41, which is a service mark.
Okay.
Because it performs a service. Otherwise, it could fall under a whole bunch of different other types of categories. And also, a good trademark attorney would actually suggest filing under different classes.
Yeah, I mean,
to get the most wide-ranging.
I guess you wouldn't file it under one class. You would see what you want to use it for, and then
what you could possibly
use it for, and determine what class you want to put it in.
And if it's an existing NFT, you file certain classes under in use. And if it's if you're looking at expanding into a different category, you do it as an intent to use for those classes. So a whole bunch of different things there. But in terms of filings, NFT-related trademarks in the United States stand right now at 1,263 through the month of January. February's numbers aren't out yet.
Okay.
That's a 421-fold increase from 2020, which only had 3 filings.
You know, you are a trademark attorney. You're getting monthly stats from the trademark office.
Yes.
Okay. You told me monthly stats from the American Gaming Association. Now you're telling me monthly stats from the trademark office. So, boy, you like your stats, huh?
Well, stats are the business.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
But like I said, January in 2021, January had 0 trademark filings. In December 2021, they had 407 trademark filings.
Wow.
By the end of January of this year, January 2022, there was 450 filings in that month. That's about 15 filings per day.
And I'm assuming it's just going to go up from there.
It's going to go even higher.
Okay.
Listen to some of these trademarks, especially with the metaverse. A lot of these NFT filings also have metaverse components. And I noticed whenever you see a company filing an NFT trademark, you're going to see a metaverse trademark. Victoria's Secret, 4 trademark applications for digital collectibles and media developed through blockchain technology, which is NFT. Mm-hmm. You've also got McDonald's filing 12 trademark applications for a virtual restaurant in the metaverse. New York Stock Exchange filed a new trademark for several crypto products, including NFTs. And then I just found out this morning, before we started taping, CVS has filed for trademarks for an NFT.
Wow.
So a pharmacy has just filed for an NFT trademark, and also trademark for services in the metaverse, virtual pharmacy care.
I have to own an NFT. I don't know what it's going to be on or what it's about or how much it's going to cost, but everyone has an NFT now, and now it's getting into the legal field and the business field and the economics field, and now I just gotta get one to see what it's all about, just to say I have one, because I have no idea exactly what these things are. So, I want to get one and check it out. See if I can actually make some money on this thing.
Well, any NFT creators out there, always talk to an attorney when you're doing these things. Protect the IP behind
Absolutely.
behind the NFT.
Exit 4.
You want to know who really made out in this Major League averted strike, or the averting of the Major League Baseball strike here?
The lawyers they had to pay?
Apple TV.
Okay.
Apple TV. They just did a deal with Major League Baseball for an MLB Friday night doubleheader package.
Oh, wait.
TV.
We just got baseball back. Now we're finding out we may have to pay for some doubleheaders there?
No, that's the great thing about this.
Oh, okay.
Apple TV.
Okay. I jumped to conclusion.
Apple TV has gone ahead and done this package, and it's going to be, and what we're going to talk about here, it's free. You don't need a subscription for Apple TV right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
I'm
not going to say ever.
They're going to do it free for a while, and then they're going to hook you in, and then you're going to get used to watching it on Apple TV, and then they're going to say, well, now you have to pay for it.
Well, what they're going to be doing, they're going to be showing Friday Night Baseball in 9 different territories, including the United States and Canada.
Okay.
It's a Friday night doubleheader throughout the entire 2022 season. The broadcast will be produced by MLB, but unlike their other deals with different regional sports networks, these games that Apple TV has contracted for will not be shown on the regional sports networks. You have to go to Apple TV to watch this.
Why did they choose Friday night? In TV, when you're talking about ratings, TV executives call Friday night Death Valley because no one's usually home watching TV, or a lot less people are home watching TV. When I was growing up, the big thing was Monday Night Baseball, because what are you doing on a Monday night during the week? You're sitting home, you got home from work, you're sitting home, you're getting ready for Tuesday, you got nothing to do at nighttime, you're watching baseball.
I can give you 2 reasons.
Okay.
1, cheap.
Yeah, I'm okay. All right.
The advertising, though, on Friday nights is actually kind of high.
Really? I thought Thursday night was the big
advertising rates for Friday night primetime sports.
Okay.
Is actually kind of high.
Okay.
The other thing is it allows for experimentation.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you think about what's going on here, Apple did this deal where they're also going to have a whip-around show throughout the week.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they're going to have baseball throughout the week.
Good.
But they're also going to have this Friday night doubleheader. Given the fact that some of these other streaming channels, like Peacock, have deals with not only NBC Sports, but PointsBet.
Oh, okay, yeah.
For betcasts.
Yeah, now they're starting to do a lot of betcasts now.
And you have, like the individual RSNs for, like Chicago and Philly just did the Sixer game with, I think it was the Bulls. They did a cross-city betcast.
Well, they did one for a... I forgot what golf tournament they did.
They did it for a couple golf tournaments.
Yeah, they did it for a couple golf tournaments, but it was a lot of fun.
But you got to think...
A betcast for golf is a lot of fun to watch.
But you got to think a streaming channel like Apple TV on a Friday night where, like you said, maybe they're not going to get a huge audience.
Yeah.
This may be a chance for them to get into the sports betting scene.
Yeah, maybe.
Experimentation with that, fantasy as well. And with the whip-around show... that's going to actually lead into a lot of the Friday night stuff, too, doubleheaders.
I bet you they're going to have some betting shows on, too.
Oh, yeah.
You just feel it coming from Apple.
Well, Apple is following the lead of Peacock.
Sure.
With Apple TV and everything. So we'll just see what happens there. I mean, we may see Disney do something, too, with baseball.
Yeah.
Especially with Disney looking at doing an ESPN Sportsbook.
Sure.
So we'll just see what happens. But this was Apple's first major move into the sports scene.
Okay.
And they did a good job with this.
Yep.
Good timing on their part, too.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. at Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up. We got the Buy the Numbers coming up. We got a Beatin The House, and we also have a book report. But right after this, I'm talking to Katie Kohler from Play Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia Inquirer. She writes all about the casinos and sports betting scene in Pennsylvania, and I just love Pennsylvania. It's such a great gambling market, and we're going to find all about Pennsylvania when we talk to Katie Kohler coming up next. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Even though I live in New Jersey, the closest casinos and sports books to me are in Pennsylvania. So I'm always in Pennsylvania. That's why I'm excited to talk to our next guest. When she's not writing about the biggest gaming stories in Pennsylvania, she's breaking the biggest gaming news stories in Pennsylvania. Katie Kohler is managing editor and lead writer for Play Pennsylvania and also a columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. And we are lucky to have Katie on the line with us right now. Katie, thanks for joining us.
Great. Thanks for having me on.
I was telling you off the air, I love Pennsylvania. I'm always in Pennsylvania. It's such an incredible casino and sports betting market. But for people around the country who haven't been to Pennsylvania or aren't familiar with Pennsylvania's gaming scene, can you give us a little overview? I mean, how many casinos, sports books, what are we talking about for gaming options in Pennsylvania?
It is full of gaming options for people that there's really just so much to do, and it's an excellent place for gamblers to come out. And a little bit of something that recently came out in 2021, Pennsylvania's commercial gaming industry set a new record for state revenue, ranking second to only Nevada with $4.3 billion in gross gaming revenue. And part of that is because of the land-based casinos, but it's also because Pennsylvania is one of the few states where you could, that has online sports betting and online casinos. So you could play right from the comfort of your couch.
That's the greatest thing about online casinos and online sports betting. You're just sitting there vegetating on your couch, and you're watching sports, and you're actually making money with sports. Hopefully you're making money with sports. But I got to ask you about your sports betting numbers for Pennsylvania. For January, they were just incredible. What were the figures like for the sports betting industry for the month in Pennsylvania? I mean, they were record-setting, weren't they?
They were well, in 2021, Pennsylvania ended the year with $6.5 billion was placed on sports. And in January, they broke a record for handle with $793 million. So, and that didn't include the Super Bowl. That was really your NFL playoffs, which were crazy. I know I was glued to the TV really through all the NFL playoffs. Were just excellent games.
So is that why the January numbers were so big in Pennsylvania? Was it being driven by the NFL playoffs? Because they were great.
Absolutely. between that, a little bit of college football and the NBA, but mostly it was because you had 5 weeks of football in January.
Is there a sports book that's leading the market in Pennsylvania? I mean, in New York, there's Caesars. In New Jersey here, there's FanDuel, always the kind of the number one sports book. Is there a sports book in Pennsylvania that's really leading the pack?
It is. FanDuel has established itself as by far the leader since they've launched really in the summer of 2019. They've been the number one operator in terms of handle and revenue, and they have about 36% of the market in terms of handle every month, which of the 14 sports books in the state, that's a pretty big market share.
Yeah.
And they've just really dominated. DraftKings has held the number 2 spot, but FanDuel, through its partnership with Valley Forge Casino, has really dominated.
You know, I mentioned New York, and months before New York launched mobile sports betting, my home state of New Jersey was in a panic because a large number of the New Yorkers were coming into New Jersey to bet mobily in the state, and New Jersey was really worried about losing revenue. Did Pennsylvania have that kind of anxiety before New York went live with mobile sports betting, or was that something that, you know what, Pennsylvania, they're going to do it, we'll roll with it, we're not worrying about it too much?
It's really funny because to me, I live right outside of Philadelphia, and I grew up, and I still am a very big Philadelphia sports fan. And, you know, the Philadelphia fans and Philadelphia in general has a bit of a complex with New York in that everybody always wants to talk about New York. You know, we're located between New York and Washington, so it's kind of like that middle child syndrome. And, you know, even though we work remotely, even around the office, everybody wants to talk about New York and how great it is. And I get it. Everybody knows New York was going to be the best in sports betting, like they're the best in everything else. And, you know, sometimes they eat my lunch in the fridge, play New York, and they claim they have the best pizza and the best food. And it's really irritating sometimes, to be honest with you. And I don't know how you feel where you are in New Jersey, but it you know, isn't it irritating?
Let me tell you something. I live in central New Jersey. I'm a big Eagles fan. I'm a big Philly fan. And my brother, who's the producer you just spoke with, is a big Jets fan. And the rest of my family are Giant fans. So I can feel your pain.
So you want to talk about the sports betting of New York and not, you know, how their teams, football teams don't make the playoffs. I get it. Okay.
It's very interesting. I mean, you're mentioning you're in Pennsylvania, the Philly area, and New Jersey. They were going through crazy conniptions about New York and New York coming on. And, you know, we love having them over, spending the money here, but, you know, we want them to keep coming over. But, you know, it was a catch-22, you know, like, please come over and spend your money. But you know what? Don't talk about your sports.
So right as New York started launching geo-comply, which basically you have to have geo-tracking on your phone, the sportsbook app, because it pinpoints your location. To bet in Pennsylvania at any sports betting app, you have to be physically located in Pennsylvania. So GeoComply put out a report about 2 weeks into New York's launch and came out with how many bettors were from each state, and only about 1% of New York bettors were coming from Pennsylvania. So that impact really wasn't that big for Pennsylvania. For New Jersey, they thought that their days of billion-dollar handle was done, and it wasn't, because they hit $1 billion for handle in January. So I like to tell people this is still a very new, young industry, and you have New York that is still, I mean, we were getting numbers like this is their first 15 days, this is their first 30 days. This is still a very young industry. It's so early. And to see what kind of impact it's going to have, really, it's going to impact New Jersey more than it will Pennsylvania. New York, of course, is going to be bigger because there's more people here.
Sure.
And, New York's going to keep saying how they're the absolute best in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to have to, I recently wrote about it, how, that's okay. Pennsylvania's going to still be able to carve out their space in the sports betting industry and still be able to put up these months of about $800 million handle during football season.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to have to deal with New York being insufferable like we always have.
Well, let me ask you something about the neighboring states. I mean, Ohio will be launching their sports betting industry pretty soon. Do you think Ohio will have more effect on the Pennsylvania numbers than New York did? Or is anyone concerned about Ohio coming onto the sports betting scene?
I think these states are going to do well on their own.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think big enough portion of Pennsylvanians are a big enough portion of people are leaving Ohio to come into Pennsylvania to bet.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Ohio is going to do really well.
Yeah. We were talking off air, and I said one of my favorite casinos is Parks, and they have done something amazing, and that is open a sports book in a restaurant and a sports bar called Chickies and Pete's. For people around the country who probably aren't familiar with Chickies and Pete's, I guess, would we still consider them a local chain for New Jersey and Pennsylvania? How would you describe Chickies and Pete's?
Crab fries.
Yes, crab fries. Now you're going to have to explain crab fries to people listening in Nevada and and California.
If you want to do word association, crab fries.
Right now, everyone's Googling crab fries.
Chickies and Pete's it is the number one. What is it? The number one sports bar in the country. It was named.
Yeah, it was.
It is though a very regionalized sports bar that started in Philadelphia, and I believe it's still very much in the region. And but they're known for their crab fries. And if you're Googling what crab fries are, they're crinkle cut French fries covered in Old Bay seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
And you get two sides of Cheese Whiz, which Philadelphia, it's a blood type here.
Yeah, it is.
They opened in Chickie and Pete's in Malvern, a sports book inside, a sports and race book inside of their restaurant. And it's about a 600 square foot sports book. It is enclosed and separated from the rest of the restaurant. And it is the first of its kind in the country that is not at a casino or racetrack.
Months ago, when I heard Chickies and Pete's was getting sports betting, I just assumed that, they're going to throw some kiosks in there and we'll call it a day. And you can say we went sports betting at Chickies and Pete's, but I was really wrong about that. I'm curious, to get permission for that, they had to go to the Gaming Control Board. I mean, was the board open to this idea right away, or was this an uphill battle to get the board to go along with putting a sports book into a sports bar?
Mm-hmm. Having sat through Gaming Control Board meetings for the last 2.5 years, the Gaming Control Board definitely does their due diligence with everything. And what they ask a lot of questions, which I'm not going to get into with you on this call because, there's a lot more interesting things to talk about. Mm-hmm. But obviously the main thing is Chickies and Pete's is an all ages restaurant, and it is very much a family restaurant. When I went last week, there was families there having dinner with their young children.
I was thinking about that. Yeah.
And something that I wrote in my story, a section of the story, was about what they do in terms of the carding and children issue.
Yeah.
And I made it very clear in the story was that the sports book is separated from the rest of the restaurant. It is an enclosed separate area. And when I went into the sports book to place a bet, I was immediately carded, which always gives me a little chuckle. And the extremely nice gentleman asked me if I had left any children in the car.
Interesting.
And I have written a lot about the issue of kids being left unattended in cars at casinos, which is actually a issue that the Gaming Control Board has been doing a lot in the last couple of years to fight. And so having wrote about that, I knew it was an issue, but if I wasn't a reporter in the industry, I kind of would have been a little taken aback. But I was really impressed by their efforts. There were signs in the parking lot that even said, leaving your child unattended is a crime.
Okay.
You know, they did a very good, in my opinion, responsible gaming message. So, yeah, you know, they had to answer all those questions before you put a sports book in an all-ages restaurant.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think they had to go through special precautions? Because that's the first thing I thought of. You know, it's kind of a new thing. Are there special precautions or procedures that you saw in Chickies and Pete's that they had to adhere to? I mean, also, is, you know, when we go to a casino or a sports book, there's state officials always on the premises. I mean, is there a state official at a Chickies and Pete's in Malvern?
Oh, yeah. When you went in the sports book, there was people with the Gaming Control Board lanyard. And, oh, yeah.
Is the sports book in Malvern, is this the first step for something bigger for sports betting in Pennsylvania? I mean, if they can demonstrate in Malvern that sports betting at a location like Chickies and Pete's can be done in a professional, responsible way, do you think this opens the door to other locations like this getting sports betting?
Mm-hmm. First, you know, I think it all comes down to the numbers. It all comes down to the bottom line. And part of it is, what do the revenue numbers show? What does this do over time? Are people going to go there because of the sports book? Are people going to go there anyway? About 90% of all bets in Pennsylvania are placed online. So I feel, as someone that reports on the industry, I wonder how many people are going there and are just going to be like, well, I'm going to place my bet on my phone. Why would I go over to the sports book? But something for me that I wrote in my article for the Inquirer, and something that I always try to touch on at Play Pennsylvania, is sports betting is about the experience. Where do you go to watch the game? The thrill of going to like a physical sports book, a sports bar, and being around other people and enjoying March Madness. The recent NFL playoff. And there's only so much you could sit and watch on your couch where you want to actually be out with other people and watching these things. So for a place like Chickie and Pete's, that's going to be a place where that has sports betting and that is one of the focuses, it'll be interesting to see how it does. And if, you know, maybe they're busy all the time during those type of events. Do they have an uptick during the major sporting events because of the sports book?
in that vein, I was reading your articles at Play Pennsylvania and the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I was getting very, very hopeful. So listen to my logic. I want your opinion on this, and tell me if I have false hope, I've gone off the rails. Parks Casino will be going live with their online sportsbook in New Jersey. So they have a license here. They can operate here. Now, about 5 minutes from where I live here in New Jersey, there's a Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey. Is it wrong for me to hope that what's happening in Malvern could possibly happen in New Jersey? I know it's a different state. I know they different boards that they have to get permission by, but I'm just curious. Is Malvern a great blueprint for New Jersey?
Yeah, it could be. It's something that I think in the end, and, you know, you look at the money. Mm-hmm. Are they making money? And what's the margin on crab fries compared to what's the margin on sports betting? You know, sports betting in Pennsylvania is taxed at the highest rate in any state. Maybe I don't know, you know, Chicky and Pete's, they're not going to tell me, they're not going to open up their books to me and be like, here's how we're going to consider this successful. They, you know, are they like, we want people to come in and order food and alcohol? Or do they ultimately want people to come in and play sports bets? Mm-hmm. It's something I think, you know, you see other places. So Barstool is opening up a Barstool branded sports bar in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
There's going to be no sports betting kiosks there. So people might be like, well, why are you opening up a Barstool branded bar? Well, to build brand awareness of Barstool. Barstool is all about the brand. Mm-hmm. Another place is opening in Philadelphia, the Bankroll Club, and it is a entertainment restaurant with a sports betting focus. There's going to be no kiosk there, but the focus is going to be sports betting. So you're going to have a lot of TVs with sports on and sports betting tickers. So I think you're going to start to see restaurants that are focused on sports betting. And will they be successful? You're going to see. To me, when people ask me, like, do I think they're going to be successful? And I say one of the best parts of my job is I get to report on it, and it's a lot of fun, and the ride is the fun.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I want to ask you about Barstool Sportsbook, and it's going to be open in Philadelphia. And by the way, everyone, she broke the story on the location. Where is it going to be, by the way?
I did. So it's really funny how I broke the story on it. So way back in the day, as they say in Philadelphia, I was a freelance reporter at a local newspaper, and you know, you had to walk the beat. That's how you got the stories. You walk the beat. And that's how I got the Barstool story. Was I talked to some of my sources in Philadelphia real estate, and then one of my favorite areas of Philadelphia is Sansom Street, mm-hmm. where Elvez is and Barbuzzo is. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a great area. Whenever I'm like, I don't know where I want to go eat, I don't know, I can't decide, my husband just drives down there, and that's where we end up going to dinner. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a little glimpse into my marriage. So we ended up having lunch at Elvez, which has delicious guacamole. I don't know if you've ever been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was walking around there because someone had told me that they were going to open around Elvez in that area. So as I was walking, I was just asking people, do you know where Barstool's going to open? Do you know where Barstool's going to open? And a couple people pointed me to the direction. I went over and I knocked on the door, and a construction worker talked to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's at 1213 Sansom Street at the site of the former brick wall. Mm-hmm. And they are getting really close to opening. On the Dave Portnoy show last week, he said he thinks they're probably going to be open for March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell he was a bit non-committal and didn't want to give an exact date. But with the East Regionals being in Philadelphia, why would they not want to be open for March Madness?
Sure, absolutely. Now Barstool has a sports betting app in Pennsylvania, and certainly they're partnered with Penn National Gaming. And in Pennsylvania, there's no bigger company than Penn National Gaming in the gambling business. How important is Barstool's success in Pennsylvania tied in with their relationship with Penn National Gaming?
It's a really big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Barstool gets the headline. They do. And part of it is because of Dave Portnoy, who is really just, if I ask you who's the face of FanDuel, who's the face of DraftKings, you'd probably be like, I don't know. But if I asked you who the face of Barstool was, you would know. He is a nonstop content machine, that man. Because if you see him on Twitter and Instagram, he's nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you think of him is on you. I report on him. And it's just, I could write about him all day, but we try to cover everybody.
Yeah.
Barstool has made it really clear that they're not going to get into this really unsustainable arms race of spending on marketing. They're not going to spend like with the FanDuels and the DraftKings, and they're going to spend organically.
Mm-hmm.
And they've made that very, very clear. And they don't want to be judged on handle, which is the amount bet. They want to be judged, and they don't want to be judged on how much they promo. They want to be judged on, the revenue.
Yeah.
Which, they're putting out their parameters of what they want to be judged on, and in the end, they're coming in at about 3 in Pennsylvania. So, like I say, it's still early in the game, but Barstool, they're really investing big in Pennsylvania. And Penn National's investing big in them. We see Hollywood Casino Morgantown just built a beautiful Barstool sports book. It's one of the more unique sports books in Pennsylvania. It's more of a sports bar than a sports book.
Well, I want to hit another topic that you just recently wrote about, and that issue is something that a lot of states and a lot of casinos are dealing with, and that's the worker shortages in the casinos. I know New Jersey is dealing with it. I just got back from Massachusetts, and the casinos up there have an issue with it. What's going on in the Pennsylvania casinos, and how are they dealing with worker shortages?
Yep. So I don't want to shortchange it by saying it isn't news, because wherever you walk around, you'll see signs now hiring, on-the-spot interviews. This is the reality of the world we live in now.
Mm-hmm.
Really, everywhere I go,
yeah,
I see these signs. And the casino industry isn't immune to it. They weren't able to, be like the only industry that was like, oh, we don't have hiring problems. They do, but you don't walk into parks and see a now hiring sign on the door.
Sure.
They do it other ways. There's casinos in Pennsylvania and Atlantic City do have a worker shortage. They are looking for. They have really, ever since they went back to full capacity, they have been looking for help for really all departments. And it's been a struggle. And what I found in the story, I talked to 2 former executives that worked in human resources in Atlantic City for decades. And it's something that part of it is the Great Resignation, when people were working in casinos for a long time, and when casinos closed, it was the first time that they stopped working in casinos, and it gave them time to stop and think, do I really want to keep doing this? And some of them didn't come back. Some of them retired. Some of them went to another career. Some of them started their own business.
Mm-hmm.
Also, competition. When you see places that are offering new workers get a $500, $1,000 bonus, and your company is like, well, you've been working here, we're not going to give you a bonus. Why don't you go to another casino and be a new worker for that $1,000 bonus?
I mean,
so competition.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Let me tell you something. Pennsylvania is one of the most interesting and fast-moving gambling markets in the country. What are some of the stories that we should be looking out for Pennsylvania in the coming months? What's going to hit the newsstands pretty soon when it deals with casinos or sports betting in Pennsylvania?
Well, something that happened last week is Churchill Downs said that they were getting out of the sports betting and online casino business. And Churchill Downs ran the Twin Spires online casino and sports book. And some people might have been like, I had no idea they were in Pennsylvania, which I would say that's probably why they're getting out of the business.
Well, what do you think is going to happen to Twin Spires? Is it just going to close down, or are they going to license it out, or have they made any kind of decisions with regard to Twin Spires? Because it's been in the news a lot lately with they've been posting their jackpots and things like that. I was just thinking last week, I was saying, there's some pretty big money coming out of Twin Spires, but all of a sudden something's going to happen with them.
Well, they're winding down operations in the next 6 months.
Okay.
Said. What they plan to do is they said they're going to stay in the horse racing business, which was really no surprise there.
Sure.
They could decide maybe we're going to partner with somebody for that sports betting license. Maybe they decide to partner with somebody like Hard Rock for the sports betting license, for Hard Rock Sportsbook.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Speculation.
Interesting.
Maybe they decide to do nothing with it. Maybe they decide to partner with somebody like Bet365. I don't know. They accounted for less than 1% of handle in Pennsylvania, so it's
oh wow, okay.
You're going to see consolidation. When I say that there's 14 sports books in Pennsylvania, and I have to know all 14 of them, and I ask if you can name all 14. If you can't, that's probably why there's going to be consolidation one day.
That's a good rule of thumb. I like that. It's a very good marketing point.
In terms of what's going to happen, if I knew that, I'd probably be having breakfast at Tiffany's this morning and, living at the Four Seasons. But we'll have some fun this morning. We'll kick around some things.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? It's, you got March Madness coming up,
sure,
and it's going to be mad. The Sixers and James Harden,
mm-hmm.
the betting interest in that has really been really good so far. That's going to be the focus of my article on the Inquirer, is how they're like the games Harden has played in has been some of the most bet games so far. And, the Sixers, we're talking about Pennsylvania, the Sixers haven't been past the second round since 2001. Are they finally going to do something? Villanova.
Yeah.
When it gets to March, Nova's always dangerous. Something, of course, with the baseball strike. To me, I'm really angry at baseball. For my father, my dad cares about baseball a lot. I love all of the four major Philly teams, but baseball has lost my interest a lot lately because it's slow and boring.
Yep.
And to me, while I feel bad because, my father loves baseball, and I owe a lot of who I am to my father, and I'm mad that, you made my dad mad. But it's like, what is baseball going to do? And how are they going to get their fans' interest back? And from the betting perspective, why would I want to bet on baseball?
Sure.
How is baseball interesting to bettors? How does it keep me engaged? What can baseball do to be anything that gets my heart rate up?
One thing I was thinking of, I for the first time, like a couple months ago, I visited Live Philly, who we talked about. We're celebrating their first anniversary, and they are located right next to Citizens Bank Park. I'm a big Phillies fan. I was thinking, oh my God, what a great place to go right before the game and after the game, and I was planning some Philly trips there, and I couldn't wait. And now the Phillies aren't playing, and that. It's amazing how baseball affects the businesses around them, the restaurants and the sports bars and in Philly, the casino. So it's very interesting how that's going to affect the casino and the businesses around the ballpark.
You know what they should do if baseball comes back, because they're going to have a lot of fences to mend.
Yeah.
And I will admit, and this is going to upset a lot of baseball purists, but I'm going to tell you, because, people are probably going to troll me in the comments anyway, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
You know what Live Philly and the Phillies should do?
What's that?
They should do something called the Philly 4, where you go to Live Philly and you watch the first 4 innings there, and then you go and watch the end of the game at Citizens Bank Park.
That's a great idea. For a pub crawl, that's a great idea.
What do you think about that? And you know what? You and I should go, and we should be like...
we should do a show from Philly Live. There we go.
Then the first 4 innings, you watch the game, and then you head over and watch the last. You watch the end of it there, reduced price ticket.
See, that'd be awesome. What a promotion that'd be. That'd be great.
There you go.
There you go. Well, Katie, we're running out of time, but can you give out your website so people can read all your articles, and give out your social media address, too, so people can follow with what you're working on?
Sure. My name is Katie Kohler. I am the managing editor and lead writer for PlayPennsylvania.com. That is PlayPennsylvania.com. You can also read my column about sports betting on Philly.com, or if you're old school, like to read it in print, it's in the Philadelphia Daily News and the Philadelphia Inquirer. Follow me on Twitter at KKOHLER1129. Thank you for having me on and listening to me today. I appreciate it.
Katie Kohler, managing editor and lead writer for Play Pennsylvania and columnist for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Thanks so much for coming on and letting us know about sports betting and casinos in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania. It's a great state, and some of my favorite casinos are there. So please come back on and keep us updated on the Keystone State.
I will do. Thank you. And, let's take this offline. Talk about the Philly 4 if baseball ever decides to play again.
That sounds great. But everyone else, stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of Beatin The House, where we talk about the different casino jackpots, whether it's a slot machine, table game, poker, keno, bingo, even lottery jackpots, whether it's online or the scratchers or retail, brick and mortar, all the different types of jackpots out there. Keep sending in those press releases. Ever since we started doing this segment, we've been getting a great response from the casino properties, them sending in press releases and news alerts, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, where we actually kind of get inundated from time to time. And as a matter of fact, as we were preparing to record this today, I got another one, and I just added it into the system here. So
Yeah, well,
we're talking about it.
It's publicity for them.
Exactly.
It's great, and it's really good publicity, too. You can actually win some money at these places.
Well, before we get into the United States, we're going to go to Canada.
Okay, Canada. A casino in Canada?
Casino Nanaimo.
Casino Nanaimo.
Nanaimo.
I've never heard of that.
In British Columbia.
Okay.
Erilyn Joseph, that's a woman,
All right.
won a $2.1 million jackpot from a Power Bucks slot machine.
I've never heard of that slot machine.
That
Power
is-
Bucks?
Yes, that is one of the more popular ones up in Canada.
Really? Power Bucks?
Power Bucks.
I just assumed they'd have the same kind of slot machines or the same type and like the Buffalo.
they have all
like
that
the
stuff.
Buffalo
They
and
have
the
all that
Monopoly and stuff. The Power Bucks? I've
But
never heard of Power Bucks.
some of the other, not the more mainstream casinos that everyone knows about. There's tons of casinos dotting the landscape up there.
By the way, that's a great name, too. Erilyn?
Erilyn.
That's a great name.
The Power Bucks slot machines have a jackpot that start at $1 million, and it's a progressive. So
So how much money do you have to put in this thing?
she had
All right.
a $3 wager,
Wow, really? Okay.
and she won the progressive
Good
with
for
the
her.
odds of 1 in 25 million to win the progressive jackpot, $2.1 million.
Wow.
And
On
it
a
was
$3 bet, huh?
It was a spur-of-the-moment decision, too. According to Erilyn, her and her husband were going out to dinner. Then they decided at the last minute after dinner, let's go to the casino. They got to the casino, didn't know what slot machine to play, and she saw the Power Bucks slot machine, and she just went over and started playing.
Great.
And she won the $2.129 million jackpot on just her third spin.
Wow.
She sat right down.
I
and won.
love stories like that. I love the ones where, I was walking out of the casino and I had my last dollar and I threw it in and I won the jackpot. Or, I put 5 cents in and I won $1 million. Or like Erilyn here, who put $3 in and won a $2.1 million lottery.
We've had a
thing.
couple stories where either they've actually just sat down and won right away, or it's their last dollar. And
yeah.
it's kind of interesting.
It was like I said, one guy was like walking out. It was like the last casino on his way out of the casino, and he decided to sit down. So.
Just threw his last little chunk of change.
Great story.
This was at the beginning of their night.
Well, yeah.
And we're going into the United States now, where we are going to Mohegan Sun Pocono. I don't think we've ever done Mohegan Sun Pocono.
No, I don't think
this
so.
This is the first time for this.
Yeah.
And I want to thank the PR department at Mohegan Gaming for sending us this.
All right.
This is the one that actually came this morning before we started taping.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to read the press release right here. $199,790.60 is the exact jackpot win that Vincent P. from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania, took home on Saturday, March 5th, while playing the Blazing Sevens Blackjack Progressive Jackpot at Mohegan Sun Pocono.
Wow, congratulations.
Remember they used to
I have no idea where that town he's from. Where is that?
I don't know.
Must
I've
be
never
in the
heard
Poconos.
of Clark Summit.
Must be in the mountains somewhere.
Remember when Mohegan Sun Pocono used to be Mohegan Sun Pocono Downs, when it was they had the racetrack with it?
I was going to say, is that the one with the racetrack?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But it's the third largest jackpot won at Mohegan Sun Pocono so far this year. And we're only...
What is it, March?
Yeah, that's what I'm
this
saying.
Year, so
well, it's $200,000.
Okay.
And according to the press release, the Blazing Sevens Blackjack Progressive game is a table game at Mohegan Sun Pocono where guests can begin a round of play by making a standard blackjack bet while also placing a bet on the Blazing Sevens Progressive Circle.
I was going to say, is
This
this
is a
one of
side
those
bet.
games that you have a side bet on
Yes.
and things like that? Okay. All right.
And it goes on. It actually describes how this works. The dealer will then follow the house procedures for blackjack. Guests can win if at least one of their first two cards are a 7, and the opportunities increase significantly if a guest is holding 2 sevens,
Okay.
which leads to the name Blazing Sevens.
Oh, okay. I get it now. All right.
So congratulations to Vincent P. from Clark's Summit, Pennsylvania.
Clark's Summit, Pennsylvania.
Just under $200,000 jackpot at Mohegan Sun
Congratulations.
Poconos. Going out west now, Rampart Casino. A Las Vegas local won big at the Valley Casino. Jose N. hit the Pai Gow Progressive for $174,622 after playing for only 30 minutes.
I didn't play any Pai Gow this week. I took time off from my learning Pai Gow, so I feel that me regrouping at Pai Gow will help me do this.
The one thing I gotta ask about Pai Gow, especially when you see the Pai Gow Progressive, is the Progressive the side bet?
I guess it depends on the casino, because
I've never played
I'm just
Pai Gow.
playing online just to learn it. So
I've never played online. I've never played in the brick and
You're
mortar.
asking the wrong guy to do it because I'm terrible at it.
And also at Rampart, we have a double winner here.
Okay.
Another lucky local whose name was withheld won $97,000 while playing the popular Dollar Storm slots.
Popular Dollar Storm. I've never heard of Dollar Storm. So that's
is-
how popular it is. It must be a Vegas thing.
That is an old, well, I'm not going to say old, a classic
Oh, okay.
3-reel slot machine.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I don't think I've seen it on the East Coast.
Oh no, I'll check it out online to see if the online casinos in Jersey have it. But I've never heard of Dollar Storm. I'll check it out.
A $97,000 jackpot on a $3.75 bet.
Well, I'll definitely check it out now. We're a $3 bet.
Going down to the Strip, we have Bally's Casino, Las Vegas. Denise Brewer, they actually released her name.
Oh, okay.
A Caesars Rewards member from Arvada, Colorado, hit a $145,000 major progressive with a straight flush on 3-card poker.
These those table games, man. There's a lot of people winning those things. Those 3-card poker, the
3-card poker is
the Caribbean Stud or the Pai Gow or things like that.
But she hit a major progressive jackpot with a straight flush. Now we're going to go leave the brick and mortar world for a little bit and go to Bet Rivers Online. We have 3 jackpots to report.
Okay.
From 3 different states. Michigan, $31,000. Pennsylvania, $60,000. And West Virginia, $100,000. Notice I didn't say what game they were playing.
Okay.
They were all playing Divine Fortune.
That's one of those 3 I always say.
Yes.
You always win at. It's Divine Fortune, it's the Monopoly, and what's the other one I always... the Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, that's always one that always hits.
I always like it.
So this was online, huh?
This was all online.
Okay.
3 different states, Michigan, Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania, and West Virginia, huh? Okay.
And like we always do at the end of a month, every so often one of the casinos throws out the list of the jackpots they gave out during the previous month.
Okay.
Treasure Island, Las Vegas, announced their list of major jackpot winners for the month of February.
Mm-hmm.
According to the casino, they awarded over $350,000 in jackpots for the month of February. Robert T. from Arizona won $229,000 on The Mask. That's actually a very interesting
What is that,
slot
from the
machine.
movie?
From the movie.
Okay, it's a movie-themed
Yes.
slot machine, right?
As a matter of fact, there are 2 slot machines from the movie The Mask and The Mask 2.
Oh, okay.
So he won $229,000. Catherine C. from Michigan won $14,000 on Moneyball Inferno.
Okay.
That's another new one.
I guess so.
Richard H. from Illinois won $25,000 on the Top Dollar slot machine.
Okay.
Christopher C. from South Dakota won $24,000 on the Five Mosquitoes Tabasco machine. How about that one?
I've never seen that.
But
I would play it, though. It sounds like something I would play.
That is the first time I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
Shelley F. from Hawaii won $33,800 on 4-card Keno. That's an unusual game. You don't hear too many jackpots from that.
I've never played it.
Yvonne C. won $13,465 on the 777 double jackpot slot.
Okay.
So, congratulations to all the Treasure Island winners. And we're going to end with a very interesting story coming out of Iowa. 2 Mason City men used. And I'm just going to say this.
I know this story. Yeah, no, it's a great story.
See if you can point out one major mistake they did wrong here, besides the burglars that we're going to talk about. 2 Mason City men used a city-owned pickup truck in an attempt to steal ATMs in the town of Dyke.
But let me tell you something. This story is just every step they do something stupid and dumb. So
it started off with something stupid, a city-owned pickup truck.
Yeah,
they got that thing low-jacked or something.
Everything is stupid with this. But go ahead, tell the story.
According to the Grundy County Sheriff's Office, I love that name, Grundy County. Mm-hmm. Sounds like something out of one of the Warner Brothers cartoons. They were caught after they won big at a casino. Authorities said Ryan Marek and Brandon Huffstedler took part in numerous burglaries in Grundy County in the early morning hours of January 5th, including attempts to remove ATMs at banks. not just steal from the ATMs.
Take them with them. Yeah, okay.
So I guess they wanted just to skip the middleman.
Yeah,
just take the ATMs themselves. And a break-in at the Memorial Building in Rhinebeck. Following the burglaries, the 2 went to the Meskwaki Bingo and Casino in Tama, Iowa, where one of them, didn't say which one, oh yes it did, Marek, won a slot machine jackpot, couldn't claim his winnings because he didn't have his ID with him, went home to get his ID, came back with the ID, got his winnings, and in all this time, with the authorities looking for him, they were able to go through the security footage at the burglary scenes. They went through the camera footage at the casino. They matched up the clothing, the shoes, the vehicle with these 2 guys, and they tracked them down all because I think if they didn't go to the casino, they probably would have been better off.
They spent most of their night on videotape or on tape and camera. They had ATMs. They had cameras there. They went to a casino. They have cameras on them. Obviously, they drew attention because they won a jackpot, and the guy comes back with his ID. So unbelievable. The one thing, every bit of this story is stupid.
Yes, I mean this is like world's dumbest criminals.
I mean, unbelievable.
But again, it goes to show you that every step of the way they were on camera somewhere.
No, this wasn't an Ocean's 11 kind of thing. No, this was just complete stupidity.
There was no plotting, planning, or brains involved in this operation. No brains involved
whatsoever.
So that's it for this week's Beatin the House. Please keep those press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. As always, we're learning about some of these games as we're talking about them on the show here, and we actually are really enjoying doing this segment. So please keep them coming in.
By the Numbers is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. And By the Numbers is sponsored by Play Sugar House Online Casino and Sportsbook in New Jersey. Sign up at playsugarhouse.com/Pike and get a first deposit match of up to $250. Enjoy the casino experience online. Play Sugar House offers over 400 games online, slots, table games, hey, even bingo. It's like being in a casino without leaving your home.
And welcome to this week's edition of By the Numbers, where we're going to be talking about different statistical representations, dollar signs. It could be any type of number that has to do with the casino industry or the sports betting industry, the gaming industry, what have you, whether it's a statistic, dollar sign. We're going to be talking about a couple different numbers every week here, and I usually throw out the number to Dave and let him try and guess the number, what it means before I even get to it.
And I rarely get it.
Well, you've gotten close a couple times. The last couple of weeks you've been pretty good.
Yeah.
So we've brought this segment back for a little while here, just while baseball gets its act together, and they have. So we'll start looking at doing some pick segments coming up soon. But I just want to do a couple.
I'm a lot better in picks than this segment.
I'm better at picks at the beginning of the season.
I knew when the NFL ended, I knew this thing was going to rear its ugly head again. So where you throw out a number, I think long and hard, pretend like I have some reasoning going on, but I don't because I rarely get the number. So go ahead, give me the first one.
Well, considering you hate it so much, I may keep it.
Okay, well, yeah.
Anyway.
But I hit it twice this year,
though. First number is 10.
I actually think I know this one because I think we talked about it. I think there was that's the how many states there are right now that has legislation.
Right,
for sports
betting.
Okay,
exactly.
yeah, we talked about this before. So
according to the American Gaming Association,
I got it right.
There are 10 states that have either pre-filed or have active legislation to legalize sports betting this year. I don't think you want to name them.
No, there's no way I can name them.
California, Alaska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina.
You know, Missouri, you mentioned Missouri. We had a story on, was it Missouri last week or 2 weeks ago? They had a lot of people trying to place bets in Illinois. That's where it was coming from?
Yes.
Was it coming from Missouri?
Well, Missouri.
So they really want to sports bet in Missouri, so hopefully they get legislation where they can do it.
Well, Missouri is the state that has a bill in front of the legislature right now that is supported by all the pro teams.
Oh, okay. Oh,
they formed a coalition to actually try and get sports betting passed in Missouri.
Yeah, I know. I think the story I was referring to was, I think it was like Geo Comply or something like that. It was like 60,000 bets were trying to be placed in Illinois, but they were coming from Missouri.
I don't know
if
it was
like
that much, but it was a big number. It was a big number.
I might have exaggerated that, but a lot of bets were trying to be placed in Missouri in the Illinois online sports books.
Well, there are 10 states currently with active or pre-filed legislation. We'll see which ones by the end of the year have all done this, because right now we're at, about 30, 31 jurisdictions with legalized sports betting.
Yeah.
Is that going to go up to 40, 45? I don't know. And we'll just see what happens. I know California's got an uphill battle. Alabama and Georgia both do, too.
Can you imagine if California allowed sports betting? That would rival New York's numbers. It'd be unbelievable.
Given what I'm reading about what's coming out of California, number one, they're doing it in a better way than Florida tried. Mm-hmm. And number two, I don't know if any of the lawsuits against the ballot initiative are going to work. I mean, they're technical arguments that could be easily fixed.
Who knows?
So we'll just see. But California may actually dwarf New York, if you think about it, because there's tons of casinos there. There's tons of, I think they have 9 major league sports teams.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The numbers, if they ever got their act together and allowed sports, it'd be enormous.
Well, we're going to the next number.
I won't get it because if you're going by stats, the statistics, I got one, which probably means I'm going to screw up the next two.
Well, this one is the number 156, 156.
156. No clue.
It's the average dollar amount Illinois gamblers are reported to bet every second.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
What is that again? Say that again.
Average dollar amount Illinois gamblers are reported to bet every second.
So, on average, every second,
this is from
someone in Illinois bets $156?
Or they all bet $156. It's not a per person bet.
Who did this? Why did they do this?
A couple of the newspapers were going through the all-time handle numbers.
Okay.
$8.9 billion all-time handle for Illinois.
All right.
They went through it came out to about $903 wagered for every adult resident.
Okay.
Nearly $13.5 million bet every day, or $9,341 every minute.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Kind of an interesting way to look at betting. I don't know if I would actually
I don't
promote
know
the
I don't
per
know
second
what
bet
those
rate.
do. I mean, is that normal? Is that not normal? Or this numbers coming out of New York and New Jersey and Nevada? I mean, how do they compare to those states who have big betting industries?
I would say New York and New Jersey probably.
I'm almost
dwarf
afraid to
this number.
find out. That number shocked me.
It's a huge dollar amount.
$156 per second.
Per second.
But
that's based on the all-time.
I understand that, but when you think about it like that, that's I don't know.
I mean, I'd love to see what it is per month. In terms of when the monthly handle comes out, you break it down. Because they're looking at all-time handle. They're not breaking it down in terms of the month by month statistics. Because I know like January and March they're going to bet a lot more.
Yeah, well, I guess
the frequency is
so.
going to be a lot more. So I don't know if this actually.
I mean, the number's jarring.
Holds
it's jarring when you put it like that every second. But I guess so.
Well, again, it's one of those things where somebody had free time on their hands, and they actually sat there with a calculator.
Did they get grant money from a university to do this study?
I don't know.
What is this?
But
okay.
it is an actual. It makes you stop and look at.
What's
going on there.
I would have never guessed that in a million years. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that number is jarring, and
the 156 is just astounding.
Yeah,
I was not. When I saw the amount, I had to read through that article a couple of times just to really get my head around that number. That's per second betting.
Yeah.
I wonder if you look at the national side of things, what we're doing.
Be interesting.
Last number for the week, 60.
No clue. I'm not going to waste anyone's time trying to pretend to think
Why
or
not?
work it through. This is not a math problem. Can't work it through. So go ahead. 6. I have no idea.
This is the percentage of the 21,782 respondents to a new survey done by the University of Nebraska Athletic Department. 60% of the 21,000 or almost 22,000 respondents had a positive or neutral view of sports betting at the university stadium. Putting kiosks and actual betting mechanisms in the stadium for the college.
More than half of the people said
Right.
yes or I don't care.
21% of
See,
those
that's the
were
one
very
that,
positive.
See, that's the stat that you should break it down. I mean, how many are positive? How many are neutral about it? Or how many hate it? I mean, 60%, you put two things together, positive and
go.
neutral, that could be kind of different.
21% were very positive.
Okay, very positive. All right.
27% said they had a very negative view of making bets at the stadium.
All right.
That's kind of a high number.
Yeah.
Of respondents 25 and younger, 83% were positive or neutral about sports betting, as were 72% of respondents 25 to 54. Negative views of sports wagering were held by 58% of the respondents aged 55 to 74, the older crowd.
So I guess this says the older you are, the more negative view you have on sports betting.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the reason they did this study, Nebraska has legalized casino gambling, including sports betting, but only at the 6 horse tracks.
Okay.
In the state, and they're still formulating rules and regulations on how to get it just in other places in the state. And one of the options they're looking at is the stadiums. Mm-hmm. And the Cornhuskers are probably the biggest stadium they've got there.
Oh, yeah, no. Some of these college stadiums are huge. I think the biggest one is Michigan or Penn State. I don't know if it's Michigan or Penn State. I think it's one of those two. But there are like 100,000 people in these things. Can you imagine kiosks in there for sports betting?
One of the other numbers, and I didn't throw it in the show notes because I was looking at it, and it was kind of an interesting number. About 54% of the respondents said that having sports betting options at the stadium would make them go to the game. It would increase the likelihood of going to the game.
Really? Oh.
I would have thought that'd be a little bit higher.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to a game because, well, first off, you're going to a game, you're spending a lot of money, either parking and food and tickets. So you're going to the game to see the game. I mean, sports betting would probably be the least of your, motivations to go. I mean, you can probably go sports betting anywhere, but
I want to see
why spend all that money on the stuff to go to the game and you're adding on sports betting? So
I want to see the results for the alcohol because the alcohol is still not served at the stadium.
Well, okay.
I mean, you have to tailgate outside to go into a Nebraska game, but
well, it is a college. I don't think you go in. I'm sure they don't like drinking in the dorms or the classrooms.
Well, there are some college stadiums that have alcohol.
Yeah, I know, but some don't, and that's their right because that's the university's policy. So I don't mind that. I don't care if we're kids of a college professor, so we know how colleges work. It's when you're on college, they kind of have to worry about the students, and if they have a building there,
or give the appearance of worrying about the students.
The liability involved in it. So if you can keep, if I'm a college president, I don't want any alcohol on my property. So if you want to drink, go ahead, drink outside. But I wouldn't want that. But I understand they don't want alcohol on there.
That's it for this week's By the Numbers segment. Keep on coming in with some of these press releases. I'll keep finding some really interesting statistics to throw out as well. So, it's kind of interesting the different statistics we have with the gaming industry, and the data that's out there is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, stick around. We have the book report next, so we'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. We've got a few state and national records to talk about this week for the sports betting industry. We got launches, deals. We've got a whole bunch of different benchmarks to even talk about. We can even close the book on December of 2021 with the last state, Arizona, reporting their numbers for the month. Actually, it was a great month for Arizona again.
Yep.
But we're going to start off right off the bat with a topic that we hadn't had a chance to talk about yet, and that is the situation with Calvin Ridley being suspended for gambling.
Which, I got to tell you, I have no problem with the punishment. I know a lot of people are saying, one season is too harsh, but it was a written rule. He was monumentally stupid for disregarding that rule, and I honestly have no problem with the penalty.
Is it a rule or a policy? I thought it was a
No,
policy.
it's a written rule.
It's in the CBA. That much I know.
It's a written rule.
Well, I think Calvin Ridley could very well end up being considered like a Pete Rose of the modern NFL because it's an indefinite suspension for real. It's not just a 1 year. He has to reapply in February to get reinstated. And given the fact that he did the dumbest thing.
Look,
right after it came out.
First off,
you don't tweet out, I only bet 1,500 when you know the records are going to show something else. And our friends at Sports Handle dug those up.
Yeah, no, interesting story on Sports Handle. Well, you got the details of it, but look, don't bet on NFL games. Bet on basketball, bet on soccer, bet on baseball. Don't bet on NFL games. If you want to bet, if you need to make a bet, or you feel you want to bet, just don't do NFL games if you're an NFL player.
Well, the CBA is very clear for players. You cannot bet on NFL games. It doesn't matter the amount. It's a zero tolerance policy there. It's actually interesting that if you think about it, the CBA is harder on employees of the NFL, not just the players.
Well, look,
because the employees can't bet, period.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing a lot of things in the media. Oh, it's, it should have been like a 6-game suspension. The NFL is being hypocritical because they have, deals with sports books and things like that. They have deals with alcohol companies, but, no problem there, but it's ridiculous. It's, I heard an analogy. They have, alcohol sponsors, and there's nothing about alcohol with the players and things like that. And
you mean all those DUI suspensions?
Yeah.
Players?
Well, I don't think
that's kind of a dumb
an alcohol
right there.
Sponsorship doesn't translate into you can go get arrested for DUI and things like that, and we don't have a problem with that because we have sponsors. No, I mean they have sponsors, and they also have rules, and some of the sponsors you can't partake in.
Well, the one thing I'm kind of curious about, and regarding Ridley's agent, he's very silent on the point, and understandably so. Mm-hmm. The one thing I don't understand is it's a collectively bargained agreement between the players and the NFL. The players accepted the policy, the zero tolerance policy. Mm-hmm. This was a minimum policy, by the way. He could have been terminated.
Yeah, and the people are saying, the NFL is making an example of him. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
First guy should be the example.
Look, if you're that stupid there's a written rule. If you're that stupid to do something like that, it's just, fine. Would he lose $11 million?
$11 million on what ended up being $3,900 worth of bets.
That's according to Sports Handle.
That's according to Sports Handle. Brett Smiley, great reporting, by the way.
Yeah, very interesting reporting.
Great job on his part to get these numbers. According to his report, Ridley said he only did $1,500. What came out was when Sports Handle did the investigation, a total of $3,900 across 6 separate bets on or including Falcons games.
So that's interesting. So,
personally, I'd keep an eye on that because he bet every single one of those bets involving the Falcons lost.
Well,
he's not a great bettor for the Falcons.
I guess we should throw in the word allegedly because I'm sure more information is going to come out, whether it helps them or hurts them. But it's like I said, I mean, people are saying it's too harsh of a penalty. I think it's fine. I think if you're that dumb to do something like that,
going back to the agent, even if Calvin Ridley read the policy and ignored it, the agent should have reinforced it.
Well, look,
there's a lot of mistakes being happened on the player side.
Well, we don't know what anyone did or anything like that.
But again, it's a written policy. They accepted it. I'm actually fine with what he did. I'm fine with him betting on other sports too. I don't care if he bets on other sports. He supposedly
that's allowed. I think. Yeah, you just don't bet on NFL games.
The players only NFL games you can't bet on. Yeah. Everything else you can bet on.
Yeah.
So I wonder how it's phrased. Football is it phrased as football or NFL games? Because if it's football, he can't bet on the CFL. He can't bet on the USFL. Can't bet on anything. Well, it doesn't even say anything about exactly what he could or could not bet on in terms of football in general. I think it's NFL games only.
NFL games. Just don't bet on NFL games.
But he did allegedly did $32,000 worth of other bets on other
according
sports.
to Sports Handle. We want to give them credit for digging it out or whatever.
It's fine. I have no problem with the suspension. Ridley even said he did it. and
Yeah.
he just gave the wrong amount.
Well,
So,
allegedly gave the wrong amount.
1,500 versus 3,900.
So we'll see
Yeah.
what comes out. And
It's going to be constantly evolving, and it's going to be talked about throughout the season because every game is going to have sportsbook ads. They've got those free-to-play games. I'm going to phrase this incredibly crudely. The NFL is going to shove sports betting down your throat every season, every game.
Mm.
So it's something to keep in mind going forward for other players. But again, this was the test case, and I think the NFL passed with flying colors.
we know the system works because it was detected. So this should be a lesson for all players. They can detect it. The technology is such as a geolocation can find anyone anywhere making.
Well,
a bet.
it wasn't geolocation. It was the data. It was Genius Sports who, according to all reports, Genius Sports noticed the infraction, I guess you can call it, and reported it to the NFL, which is the way it's supposed to be done.
It works. The system works.
And this was passing grades all the way around for the NFL, in my opinion.
Well,
I don't care about the people who say the suspension was too much.
Look, I mean, I don't know how much the amount is. I'm sure it's going to come out. I don't know what roles anyone or agent or lawyer or whatever had any in it. He probably had nothing to do with it. Who knows? But, it's one of those things where, the system works.
Yes.
The detection works. So if
but
you're a player in the NFL, don't bet on NFL games.
Don't risk your $11 million salary on a couple $1,000s worth of bets, whatever the number was for him. But that was just dumb. He forfeited that salary just by doing that. And, maybe he just didn't think about it. And that could have been the case there, too. So, but like I said, we didn't have a chance to talk about that last week. Let's move on to some of the state and national records and numbers that we usually talk about here. The AGA, American Gaming Association, released their commercial gaming revenue report for January of 2022.
Great start of the year.
Let me start there first, and then we'll go back to December because it goes into what Arizona had to report. But according to the AGA, the sports betting handle for January of 2022 reached $8.41 billion, nearly doubling year over year from January of 2021. And that's without one or two states reporting their January numbers. That we're all looking at you, Arizona, for that one, because Arizona still is a couple months behind everybody else.
Yeah.
In terms of December now, let's go back to December before we get into some of the other January numbers. Arizona reported their numbers for December. They had a record total handle of almost $500 million.
Wow.
So
that's great.
it's an amazing market that just launched.
Yeah,
and I think we mentioned this early in the main Turnpike Sports program when we were talking March Madness. It's going to be interesting to see Arizona's March handle, especially for the Madness. This is the first year they're involved with March Madness.
I would think they'd be top 5. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm going to make a prediction. I think Arizona may be top 5.
It'll be kind of, interesting to see exactly what we have in terms of that
certainly
market.
Close to the top 5.
I think we're going to see record from New York, New Jersey,
sure.
Illinois. But Arizona's going to be the one to watch. And that December 2021 handle, made it the 6th top state in terms of handle for that month.
Well,
so just to round out the December numbers, with Arizona's December report, December 2021, the national handle was $7.328 billion. Gross gaming revenue of $375 million. Adjusted, when you take out the promos and all the deductions, $259 million, and taxes of $39.85 million for the entire month of December. Now, with December closing, we have the entire year of 2021 closing. Year to date the complete year 2021, handle $57.75 billion. Gross gaming $4.3 billion, adjusted gross revenue $3.5 billion, taxes of $562 million. That's an incredible number, the tax number.
Well, look, all these numbers are staggering. A couple of years ago, if you told me these numbers would be generated by the sports betting industry, I thought you would be crazy. But it's absolutely amazing what's happening with sports betting in this country.
It's just a matter of, I think a lot of it has to deal with the convenience of mobile betting.
Oh,
too.
sure. Yeah.
And any state that has mobile betting is going to outperform states that don't have mobile betting. And there are a couple states still out there that don't have mobile betting. There's a lot of states out there that don't have any kind of gambling whatsoever.
Well, let me tell you something. Even if I'm in a retail sports book, I usually place my bets on my phone. So it's one of those things where, it's just so damn convenient. Even if you're in a retail sports book, I place them on my phone. So, yeah.
Well, we closed out December. Let's go back to January now of this year, 2022.
So we're all done with last year. Everyone reported
all
last
done.
year. Okay.
I'm sure there's going to be more numbers coming out for December
right.
somewhere along the line. But we have a closure of 2021. We have a closure of December 2021. January, we have Illinois, record handle in January, $867 million handle. They became the third state, joining Pennsylvania and New Jersey, to generate at least $100 million in state taxes from sports wagering. Mm-hmm. So they've hit that benchmark of $100 million.
Well,
only three states, New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
That's why states allow sports betting for the tax revenue. So,
also, Illinois was the fastest to that benchmark for taxes. Pennsylvania needed 27 months. Jersey needed 32 months.
Okay.
So that's a little feather in their cap there.
So how many months was Illinois?
21 months.
Oh, okay.
21 months. Going over to Wyoming. We don't talk Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Wyoming reported a record handle of $13.9 million in January.
I don't know too much about sports betting in Wyoming.
Well, there's mobile and there's...
Oh, they do have mobile. Okay.
Mobile.
All right. Just checking.
So they have a... For what they are, they have a good...
Actually, someone
market.
just launched in Wyoming, didn't they?
As a matter of fact, I'll tell you right now.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw that in the news. Yeah, someone launched in Wyoming.
FanDuel launched on desktop, Apple, and Android platforms.
Okay.
They're the 15th state for FanDuel, and it's kind of interesting because
I knew I heard a news story about Wyoming.
Yeah, Wyoming. You don't talk
there.
too much about Wyoming, and there's only 3 mobile sports books in Wyoming. I think it's FanDuel, DraftKings, and I believe it's BetMGM.
Okay.
So there's only 3 mobile books there. Looking over at some of the other numbers here, let's see. We've got New York. We always have to talk New York.
Yeah.
Let's do the...
Well, we just start off with New York all the time and just
we
get it over with.
But then you get a rut going. So, mobile sports betting in New York has eclipsed $3.5 billion in wagers since January.
Yeah, January 8th they started, right?
Not even a full month in January.
Boy.
Matter of fact, January
was it
they
3.8 billion?
3.52 billion. That's the exact number.
Billion. Okay.
Here's how it broke down. 1.67 billion in January. That wasn't even a full month. Mm-hmm. 1.53 billion in February.
Wow.
So, but at the end, this is going through to the end of the first week in March. 3.52 billion. That's an incredible number.
Oh, it's absolutely
121 million in tax revenue. So I guess you can say they're the quickest to $200 million plateau in taxes in terms of state taxes.
You know, one thing I'm very curious about New York with baseball starting, and it's the first year with mobile sports betting in New York. What are the bets going to be like on the Yankees and the Mets and things like that on a regular basis? I'm very curious about that. There was one politician in New York that wanted actual betting in Yankee Stadium in I guess Citi Field too. So
well, that's legislation.
Yeah, I know that's coming down.
You have
coming down the road.
Pretlow and also
that's it.
Adabo, Senator Adabo, both introduced a legislation to expand the gaming industry even more. They're looking for more mobile books, and the more mobile books you get, they create a sliding scale.
Yeah.
You know, the lower the tax rate goes.
We got to get Senator Adabo back on. He was a great guest before New York had mobile sports betting. I'm going to talk to him after New York had
I have to admit, Adabo nailed everything about the mobile betting industry. He did his homework. He knew exactly what he was talking about, and everything he said came to pass here.
Yeah, no, he did a great job. I mean, he was a tireless fighter to get mobile in New York. I mean, I'm sure New York politicians were tired of seeing their citizens drive over to New Jersey and get New York money. So
the GWB casino.
Yeah. So no, good for him.
Well, New York is now 1 and 2 in terms of historic handles, monthly handles.
Okay.
Again, I just said the two numbers. January was what did I say? January was 1.67 billion. February was 1.53 billion. That's
Okay.
1 and 2 in history.
All right.
So they've already changed history.
Yeah, I know. What I think Jersey's in third place.
Yes,
I
Jersey
think
is third place.
1.3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a close.
It was
third.
actually the January numbers, I think it was.
So
that
yeah,
did the 1.3.
Yeah. So
Also regarding New York, they now have 2 sports books that have crossed the $1 billion handle mark.
Mm-hmm.
We have FanDuel New York was the first. Caesars just crossed it.
wow.
And we now also have another $1 billion watch. It's DraftKings. Their numbers right now,
They got to
stand
be close.
at 850 million.
Okay, yeah, they're close. They'll probably break
So-
it this month.
Yeah.
Would you think? Yeah.
I would think so.
They still have that crazy 51% tax rate too
Well, again,
for
that's-
operators. That might change, I guess.
Well, that
Yeah.
was the new legislation.
Yeah.
Pretlow and Adaba both introduced in their respective House and Senate to reduce the tax rate by introducing more and more books.
Yeah, that's
Which
a great
actually
idea.
is not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's move on to a couple launches.
Okay.
We have Caesar Sportsbook launching a horse racing app with Naira Bets.
Oh, all right.
I like Naira Bets.
Oh, it's
Naira
great,
Bets
yeah.
is great. They're everywhere. And the Caesars Racebook will be available in the spring, and it will utilize the Naira Bets betting platform, and they're going to have over 250 tracks in the system from around the world
So
for people
where,
to bet on.
so where will this be available? This
That's a good question.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Okay, good.
I would assume wherever sports betting is legal and Caesars has an operating license, you're going to see this app.
Okay.
Because I know BetMGM also has a racing app with Naira Bets. That has not launched
Because
yet.
I'd love to take advantage of that. So hope it comes to New Jersey.
I've never done online horse race
No,
betting.
no, I have
and
not either.
I'm dying to try it.
There's a place we went to in Massachusetts that it's not Naira Bets, but it's
It's Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Hollywood
yeah,
Casino.
They have
Yeah.
an app or something.
It's
like that.
Plainridge.
Yeah, Plainridge.
Yeah.
I keep calling it Plainview.
Well, I don't know where
It's
Plainview comes from.
I don't know why, but it's Plainridge,
The
Massachusetts.
casino is Plainridge.
Yeah.
The town is Plainville.
All right, the town is Plainville.
Right.
The casino is Plainridge,
Right.
which is in Plainville.
Right.
Okay.
Well, when the horse track was built,
Yeah.
it was built on a ridge.
Oh,
So it was,
well, okay.
they called it Plain Ridge.
All right.
So, but it's in Plainville, Massachusetts, and it's part of Penn National Gaming.
Okay.
Matter of fact, last time I was in there, if I remember correctly, they had all Barstool logos.
Yeah,
in there.
no, it's Penn National, and they have a deal with Barstool, and of course, David Portnoy is from Massachusetts, so that's a great combination up there. So,
Well,
we saw the logo everywhere.
Let me tell you, if Massachusetts ever passes sports betting, and by the way, from reports up there, a lot of
No way close.
a lot of the elected officials are very, very upset with the president of the Senate and
Yeah.
a few other members because they don't care. They don't want to deal with it.
I
They
mean-
have something that they have something in mind that they want in return for sports betting, but they're not saying anything.
It's very, I mean, and I know Massachusetts is really ready for sports betting. I mean, it's in Everett, the Encore Boston Harbor
Yes.
Casino. I mean, they are ready to go. I mean, they actually have windows ready, just waiting for people to sit behind there and accept bets. So they're ready to go. They're at the starting line. They just have to wait till legislation passes.
Well, real quick, couple other launches to hit. Arkansas launched their online sports betting industry last week. Betley was the first one to launch. They actually had it on a computer. Then it was quickly followed by an Android version. No word on when the Apple version's coming out. Caesars launched in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, Illinois dropped their in-person registration requirement last week as well, so that's going to be kind of an interesting boost to that economy there.
Nevada still has it, though, right?
Yes, Nevada still has it.
Crazy.
Tennessee, the Sports Wagering Advisory Council, or SWAC, as it's abbreviated,
Swack.
they voted to approve Ballybet, Superbook, and Betley to all launch in the state. So there's going to be 10 mobile sports books in the Tennessee market.
Not familiar with Beatley.
That's Delaware North.
Okay.
They actually had issues. That was the one they created when Delaware North's first online sportsbook had issues with MyOmni.
Okay.
It got shut down, and so Beatley is their new app.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to a couple deals for the last few minutes we have for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Ontario Lottery and Gaming has announced a partnership with the National Hockey League.
Okay.
This is the league's first official sports betting, the NHL's first partnership with a sports betting operator in the country, in Canada.
So when we're talking about, the online in Ontario, we're looking at April 4th, right? Did I get
for
that?
For the private ones. For the private ones.
Okay, that's the date everyone's circling on their calendars.
Right.
So.
That's when the points bets, the scores, those guys launched.
Yep.
Right now, the lotteries, the ones in the lottery, the lotteries in the provinces are up and running. Mm-hmm. This is the first time the NHL is doing a deal with that. So you're going to see NHL logos, trademarks. You're going to see signage for the Ontario Lottery in NHL games that are going to be happening in that province. That's the type of deal. This lottery also has a deal with the NFL. So you're going to see stuff like that on Canadian broadcasts for the NFL, all that. Genius Sports announced a data engagement and integrity partnership with the Mid-American Conference, the MAC.
Okay.
The MAC is the first conference to strike a deal like this, and they're going to get the entire suite of data collection, tracking, fan engagement, marketing solutions that Genius has to offer.
Great.
Basically, what Genius offers the NFL, they're giving to the MAC.
Okay.
BetMGM made history when they signed the first active professional sports player. It was the NHL reigning MVP, Connor McDavid.
Yep.
Kind of a interesting move by them, the first ones, and now with the new.
See, I think that's going to be a trend now. I think they're going to go after active players.
Well, you got to have it available in the CBA. The new CBA for baseball will allow active players to do this. It never did before,
which is great.
So I don't know if the NFL has. I don't think the NFL has that in their CBA. Probably the next one will include that.
Probably not.
No.
after the week they've had, no, probably not.
888 received a new iGaming license in Ontario. Ontario is
it's Canada, man. Look, it's
Ontario.
It's
that's
amazing.
going to be the really interesting portion of Canada, the province there. Sport Radar announced a partnership with Bowl Season to become its official partner starting from the 2022-2023 season. The Sport Radar will act as an advisor to the organization as it explores sports betting as a source of revenue and also responsible gaming. And so we'll see some more Sport Radar logos at some of the bowl games.
Okay.
Sport Radar is also going to sponsor the bowl season's annual meeting. I did not know it was this complicated to run bowl season.
Oh, yeah.
These annual meetings,
incredible.
integrity, all that.
Yeah.
Ellis Game Technology also extended its deal with the Isleta Resort and Casino in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ellis Game is also the guys who are going to be running the book in Ocean Casino Resort in New Jersey.
I can't wait for that.
So
I love the book right now
in
Ocean.
They're building a brand new book for them, and it's going to be run by Ellis Technologies. It's also going. Ellis is the platform.
Uh-huh.
The guys running it is going to be U.S. Bookmaking.
Okay.
Which is owned by Ellis.
Okay.
So that's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. If you've been watching on TV, the news ticker running below, scrolling across the screen, has additional news stories. We've also got even more news stories in the print version that's going to publish on the Turnpike Sports blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button. You'll see the print version there after the book report is published, audio and video-wise. And please just keep the news stories coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll be sure to include you in future book reports.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.